And there we go. The start of the 2025 Copenhagen Half Marathon. Watches are set. Timing Max will get the athletes as they go under the start gantry. Matt, the excitement here. We're about 58 minutes away from knowing who's going to be this year's champion.
Oh, we're very excited. Like I said, it's an advert, isn't it, for the World Road Running Championships next year. And I think there is a storyline developing with the Kenyans and especially the Ethiopians. I think they've come here, and someone like Lesoy wants to be on that team next year at the World Championships. Can he prove once again that he can run fast on this course and be one of the best Kenyans there is, because that team is going to be awfully difficult to make, and I think he's got one eye on.
So that World Athletics Road Running Championships in 12 months' time features a road mile, it's got a 5K, it's got the 10K, and it's got the half marathon. Julian, as a local to Copenhagen, how excited for you is it to have a World Championships coming to Copenhagen, and which event have you got your eye on?
Yeah, it is really exciting to have a World Championship coming here to my hometown. I personally got my eyes on the 5K, but I think all those distances will be great, and it's fast courses for also for all of them, mile, 5K and half marathon. So yeah, really
So
exciting.
recent national champion on the track over 5,000 metres to back up your steeplechase gold as well. So do you think there's a few more seconds to be had over 5,000 metres for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think I can take more seconds on my 5K PB.
And then when are we going to see you back over the half marathon distance again?
I haven't planned yet, but since I did a decent half marathon last year, I will definitely go for it again at some point when I have the time to train a little bit more specific for the longer distances. So I'm planning to do it, and I think maybe next year, but not in the Copenhagen half, of course. But
So Matt, we can see the elites, and it is those pacemakers on the front. So they've got a really important job today, and I think the weather has settled down, as you say. So a little bit of rain sometimes. Runners like to think it gives a little bit more oxygen in the air.
Well, you hear stories back in the day of in Haile Gebrselassie day, Jos Hams would be watering the track out there to just give a little bit more oxygen.
Very true.
And so, I think it's done exactly that, and it's also calmed things down with the wind as well. Here we are through that first kilometre then, bang on 2:45. Enos and Victor Kipruto are the pair up front, pacing the likes of Langat, Lesoy, and Boy and others in that group. And you can see, I think Patrick Dever is just trying to latch onto this group. Jack Rowe has flown into pace, his teammate. We know he won the London Big Half last weekend. And so I think he's here just to give a bit of a comfort blanket to Dever and just control him. But interestingly, it looks like Dever's on the back of this group and Rowe's behind him.
Both coached by Alistair Craig, fantastic Irish international athlete himself, European medalist. It's going to be tough to find their groups. So they're having to settle into the right group. He's got obviously half an eye, Julian, on the Danish national record that is Jakob Simonson's, who's at the World Championship Marathon. He ran, was it 61 minutes and 11 seconds?
Yeah.
So that is a time that maybe you have half an eye on, but because it's his debut, do you think it's just about finding his feet at this new distance?
Yeah, I think he will not aim too much for that record in his first half marathon, so just try to find the rhythm in this pace, which is a little bit slower than he's used to. And now in the picture we also see some of the competitors to Joel Thijs, who's a more experienced long distance runner, so it's going to be exciting to see him against the newcomer Joel on this distance.
And James, I think we've got 3 women in that lead group there. Obviously, there was Chip Koska, I think it might have been Chep Karuri and Chep Ngeno. There are a couple Ethiopians to look out for as well. Someone like Ainball is coming off a great track season, running very well in the Diamond League over 5,000, and obviously not at the World Championships, so she's here in Copenhagen looking to sort of transition and step up to the road. Based in Spain is Ainball, but this is a big group on the men's side, and this is what we like to see, really, if they're going to go fast. I mean, the record here by the way, in Copenhagen is about 14, broke 60 a few years back. So I wonder if we can get close to that. Certainly, even you can just see in the distance in the two purple vests, that is Jack Rowe and Patrick Dever. And so these men, they're getting after it. They're through in 2:45 that first kilometre. We'll have their 2K split very, very shortly. And the previous road they were just on, James, is worth noting. That is where the road mile will take place next year.
Yeah, that road mile looks fast. It's almost like a horseshoe.
Extreme.
But it's going to be a long home straight, I think, for all of the finishes. Victor Kipruto, the pacer on the front. If you want to know the calibre that's needed with pacemakers as they go through 2 kilometres inside Red Bull pace, the clock was on about 5:28 when they went through there. But, yeah, he's run 27:10 and 27:11 for 10K on the road. Lassoy's record flashes up on the screen, and he is just an absolute Rolls Royce of a half marathon runner. Someone that, again, I'm sure many marathons, Matt, are keeping an eye on, because obviously he's been so consistent multiple times inside 59 minutes. He's described as being quiet and humble, often trains alone, so he's not afraid if it does break up to push it on himself. But he was, I think, ranked 4th in the world last year, and I think the way his running's kind of evolving, and at the age of 26, I think, you know, he's got a few more seconds to go over half marathon, and he's someone I'd love to see make a marathon debut, probably in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, there's a lot of men in this lead group who are out-and-out half marathon runners, and they've been attacking that distance for a few years. And, you know, Langat's one of them, who is also, he's the man sort of right in behind the pacer, just ahead of Lassoy there in the sort of light blue colours, 5th at the Valencia half, and that was a very fast half marathon last year, wasn't it? Just off the back of Copenhagen, and he ran 58:41. So, and a lot of men are yet to make their debut, and I think it is when you have a World Championships on the horizon, they just want to try and qualify and represent their country there, and then we'll probably see them step up into the marathon in the coming years as well. Nicholas Camelli making himself known in the red, just coming up on the outside. Kipkorir there, I mentioned he actually paced Cheptegei to that 5,000 metre world record back in 2021 in Monaco on that occasion, and a fine 5,000 metre runner himself, and 59:06 his lifetime best. James, 178 men have broken from Kenya, have broken 60 minutes.
Well, one of those is Alex Mateta, and he's a consistent athlete that knows how to win. 59:20 lifetime best, and as we've got the split screen, we get some great shots here from the team out on the course. Jacob Allen, the Brit pacemaker, Joycin Chepkosgei behind him, you can see in the blue singlet.
This is a dream for Chepkosgei,
Oh.
to be in that pack, tucked away there. There's very little wind now. Like I said, the rain came in and calmed it all down, and she just sits in behind Jacob Allen, who has paced here at Copenhagen time and time again, and helped out Grovdal and others last year. Grovdal, one of the Nordic
Courage is the other pacemaker in there again, Matt, and you can just see the fact that it gives them the opportunity to get a bit of shelter, the fact that they get to tuck in to this this big group, and it is a big group running this 64-minute pace.
It is. And just look at that record from Chepkosgei, 2nd at London this year, and she's been competing at that level, James, for the last 10 years. You know, medaling at majors, running extremely fast times, breaking into the All-10, former world record holder as well on the Barcelona half marathon. Interestingly, though, she is carrying what looks like a gel in her left hand, and I know a lot of athletes, when it comes to half marathon, choose just not to take on any fuel. You know, and in these conditions, you probably don't even need to take on any fluids. But interestingly, Chepkosgei does have a gel in hand.
Julianne, you ran 73 minutes last year. Gel or no gel?
As I remember, I took a gel. Yeah.
How far into the race?
I think
remember?
around 8 or 10K.
Yeah.
So not too late, because it will take like 20 minutes for the gel to work into the body.
Yeah. Sometimes for the women, because they're running just over an hour, you know, I always think if you're running around about an hour, you've probably got just enough fuel to get through. But also, I think for some, if they're prepping for a marathon, it's great, you know, preparation and practice, but also for yourself, because you don't run too many half marathons.
Yeah.
That worry or fear of running out of energy, rather be topped up.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel good in the last 5K.
Especially if you know your stomach can handle it and these things, then I thought, like, it cannot make it worse.
Yeah, definitely. And it obviously paid off. 3rd Danish athlete across the line. And we talked a little bit about, in the introduction, about the atmosphere, about the noise. We can hear it in the background here. As a local athlete, Do you have lots of friends out on the course? Was there lots of cheers? Obviously, you run for the Sparta Club as well. So that must have been superb to get that experience on the streets you know so well.
Yeah, exactly. I have lots of friends, both in the race at the moment, but also around on the sideline. And it's always great to hear people cheering for you. And yeah, also have people around you in the race, especially as a woman. For me, there's always some men that is running the same pace, so it's
some good competition in there.
Yeah.
Patrick Moss in there on the screen in front. Again, he's someone second in that Malaga race, getting out kicked by Kipkorir, but he's a former Cardiff half marathon champion as well, one of the super halves, Matt. There's 6 in that series, and we went through the expo yesterday and we saw that super half medal. It looked phenomenal. Me and you both went, we've got to do the 6 super halves. It is a super medal, isn't it?
It is definitely a super medal. It's ginormous. It would definitely give you a little bit of neck ache. Look, Yator is the first victim off the back of this front group. Former cross-country specialist, medalist at the World Cross Country Championships as a junior for Kenya, and you can just see actually he's quite drastically dropped off this front group, and I wonder if a few others are just starting to find this a little hard. As they approach that 5-kilometer split, it will start to give us an indication of what they're heading for. And James, not only have we lost a couple off this group, we've lost a pacer as well, which is a bit of a shame, because I know Lesoy and others would want to be carried as far as possible, really. And I think that's the advantage, you know, these women have. You look at Chepkoskis, he's going to have men there. They've been tasked to try and get her to 18 kilometers, which obviously they are capable of. So that's the advantage she's got, looking at attacking that race record.
Yeah, and look, you can see she's tucked in with the pacemakers. There's some very good national standard and club standard athletes running 64-minute pace. And they will have half an eye, some of those that know that the elite women are being paced around about that time, so they're going to be latching on. But you're right, if those pacemakers don't go far enough in the elite women's, there's always competition around. But I think it's the fact that in the men's, that the standard of athlete you've got to be. Victor Kipkorir, as I said, has to run low 27 minutes on the road to be good enough to pace. I got their 4K split at 10 minutes and 54 seconds. So that's 6 seconds after 4 kilometers inside 58-minute pace. So no wonder the likes of Yato are already coming off that group. So I think there's going to be a few more casualties over the next few kilometers as well.
Yeah, I think for a lot of these men, they want to announce themselves over the half marathon, follow that career of Salwa. I mean, he's had a fantastic career over the half marathon, bypassed the track, did phenomenal things, and now look at him, he's one of the strongest over the marathon distance. And Kip Limo, very similar. You know, they delayed that marathon debut. They made sure they conquered the half marathon distance first, and I think a few of these men in this group are looking to do that. Yeah,
Salwa 12 months ago in that such well-documented race was so impressive, and his marathon debut, he just, you know, transferred it. Not everyone transfers world-class half marathon running double the distance, but he just looks like he was born to run over the marathon and half marathon distance. And this group now, you can see it's down to 6 elite athletes chasing the pacemaker. You can see at the back of that Gilbert, Kipkorir just biding his time. Mossin's in that group, Matata. So Langat is the other athlete in that group as well, Matt. That's Vincent Langat. Again, another 58-minute athlete. He's 5th in Valencia last year and sub 27 minutes on the road as well as the 5K split. 13:45 was sub 58-minute pace, and look at that. They're inside 13:40 pace. Matt, get the pace chart out. What's that looking like?
James, they're inside 57:30. Was that 13 at 13:36? So they're pretty much bang on. I mean, that's 57:30 tempo.
That's
and only
old world record pace, isn't it? You know,
exactly.
Jacob Kiplimo's phenomenal 56 minutes and 40 seconds, but yeah, that is fast.
Yeah, his 56:42 still waiting to be ratified, so you can almost say that, yes, the current official world record is that 57:30. Only a few men in history have broken 58 minutes. I think only 4 Kenyans have done that. And Deva through in 13:57, so we'll keep an eye on him and how his race unfolds. That's around about 58:30 tempo.
Wow.
He's predicted,
wow, he's set his stall out with teammate, compatriot.
That British record, by the way, 58:32 officially, Mo Farah.
Yeah, Patrick's gone with Jack Rowe, and those two are going to be working together. You can see the graphics at the bottom. Roy Leonard leading that next group. Hendricks in there, the talented Belgium athlete. Sesseman in there, going through in around about 14 minutes and 15 seconds.
60 flat.
Yeah, what's that, 60 flat pace? And Frank Lara, Paul Chelimo, former Olympic 5,000 metre medalist, we commentated on in the night of the 10,000 metres when he turned back some of the time for his 10,000 metre debut. Only 62 minutes for half marathon. He'll be looking to go a little bit fast. We said he's gone under the radar last few years, but yeah, Paul Chelimo surely drew a little bit of faster time in the half marathon. And look, Matt, when we look outside the commentary box now, you can see the rain is coming down again.
That is, I think Chelimo has struggled over recent years. Only the one race this year, and that was a 14:33 5,000 earlier on in the summer. But I can say these women are through in 15 minutes, which is under 64-minute tempo. And in fact, it is very, very close. It's around about 63:30, 63:20 is what Chepkoskaya is holding at the moment. Kipkorir's in behind her. Ainbor, I think, is definitely going to come back and feature late into this race. And you can never count out Sharon Lekedi. You know, I was speaking to one of her assistant coaches yesterday. She's had a phenomenal career. And she's been on the Abbott Major podium 3 times in her career, 4th at the Olympic Games behind what was just a stellar cast, wasn't it, in Obiri, Hassan and Asefa, and what a race that was. So, and the Danish race as well, Julian?
Yeah, here we got Alberte Kjær in the picture. And
on her own, interestingly, actually has found herself quite isolated. And you predict that there would be loads of people around her, but not necessarily a bad thing. I think sometimes with the rain, you can see the men just choosing to run behind her and key off of one of the Danish superstars, former triathlete representing Denmark in the Paris Olympics over the triathlon as well. So settling into her rhythm, and you can see this is one of the busiest parts of the course as well, isn't it, Julian? I mean, the crowd through this town centre section are just phenomenal.
And a great, obviously, slight change in direction for her career, having obviously done so well over triathlon, and now going over the half marathon again, you know, and 72 minutes in a debut. That's very impressive running.
yeah, so this is Alberte's only her 2nd half marathon. So she did a very good debut in Barcelona. And behind her we got Nana. I know they're both aiming for paces like around 3:20 to 3:25, so it's exciting to see the competition between them. Nana has been a bit injured during the track season this year, so I think she must be fired up for this one. Finally, she's ready again, and she's in a good shape, so she's hungry for taking a good position at this half marathon.
So conditions have shown, Matt, that first 5K has been almost brutally fast. Oh, James, we did say, didn't we, before the race started, what might be the slippage like in some of the super shoes. Going in straight lines is great, but it's some of the lines, obviously, and I think maybe just catching the...
He might be done. Let's see. It looks like his arm's bad.
Oh, wow, that was a really big hit, and I think he's just looking at his arm, and he went down so heavily, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, his arms, it doesn't seem to be flowing that. His arm not moving so well.
He's okay, and here's the replay.
And I think this is where...
Oh, it's just, yeah.
Oh, no, just caught the
paint line, didn't he, really, and just taking that corner. Kipkorir.
What a shame that is. You know, he comes in with a 59.06 lifetime best and definitely looking to threaten. He had a fantastic track career and actually was due to represent Kenya at the World Championships over the 5,000. I think he withdrew and Crop stepped up there. So this is a man with serious pedigree. Looks to be moving a little better. That arm looks a little bit more relaxed.
Checking that arm though, Matt, doesn't he? He's a World Athletics road running 5,000 metre medalist on the road. So he's got such good speed, as you said, on the track, but it's also the shock of that. You know, when you go down, the adrenaline pumps through your body. You can see that 4th place from the Tokyo Olympics as well, and, you know, 3rd from the Delhi half. He's a consistent performer, but even to the most seasoned of pro runners, that's going to knock you for 6.
Yeah. It makes the, you know, we start the conversation, don't we, about the shoes and the shoe tech these days. They're designed for perfect conditions. They're designed for straight lines, really, and little turns, and of course, dry conditions as well. So that's a real shame he just didn't have the grip on that turn there. And now he finds himself detached, and that's a big gap. And he's got to really put his foot down to get anywhere near that front group again. All he can do now really is just hope that that pack will splinter up in the next few kilometers, and he'll have a few men to work at and work towards as well. As we just lose some images here, but they are going to head around about that 7-kilometer mark. They hit Nijhaven, the new harbour, massive tourist attraction. If you're familiar with Copenhagen, you would have seen all the beautiful, colourful houses down on the harbour. That's where they're heading now. That'll be the next sort of tourist attraction for the runners. I'm not sure these elite women will pay too much attention to that. And a few of them just starting to move past the pre-race favourite Kipkorir there. Sharon Lokedi making herself announced in this front group, and they look so relaxed, these women. You sort of compare them to the elite men who are just hammering off the front. One pace is just really pushing. They're starting to splinter, and these elite women are just welcoming this big, dense pack that they're operating in now.
Dallas Kipkorir, the 31-year-old Kenyan, 65 minutes and 46 best, and looks very, maybe just showing some signs there, a little grimace, but that's because the pace they're running, Matt, they're running at 63-minute half marathon pace, so way inside her best. She's run here previously, so she knows the course. 7th place here, as it's come up on the screen, and consistent performer at Barcelona half, which we know is one of the most competitive half marathons in the world. But yeah, that early pace as they go through 7 kilometers already in 21 minutes. They are not hanging around here in the elite women's race.
No, they're not at all. Look at Sharon Lokedi there. You can see her dead center picture, and the lad to her right in the white cap there is one of our training partners, Casey Nevelbard, part of the Dark Sky Distance Project, and he's over here just looking to pace her. And I know Lokedi comes into this really excited just to see what she can do and really attack that half marathon. And you're finding that, you know, in the modern day now, these elite women will have 4 or 5 male pacemakers on a daily basis as well. I've just recently got back from Kenya, and you go over there and, you know, someone like Kipkorir will be in a group, and every time she's doing K-reps on the track, there'll be 3 or 4 men in front, 3 or 4 men behind, and they'll carry her through those sessions. And so they really can maximize their training. So this is a slight downhill period as they head onto the dual carriageway, and you can see there is some lying water around. The rain just starting to pick up again here at the start line though, James. I mean, they're still waiting to go. They've got 5 waves. I believe it's going to take them almost an hour for some people to start in that final wave. So we'll welcome those elites home, as some will still be setting off. And we're going to head towards, now they're going to go under the famous Black Diamond, Julianne. One of the world's largest libraries, certainly Europe's largest library, built in 1999. And Langat leads, Lesoy and Mosin, and these are the 3 for me that have looked eager enough early on, and they've been rotating that lead a little bit between Lesoy and Langat, and I just wonder how much conditions are going to affect them over this as we approach the last half of the race.
Yeah, great shot side on of how smooth the runners are, and also what a great job Victor Kipruto's doing up front as pacemaker. But they would love him to go a long way past 10 kilometers, but that's going to be hard given the early pace. As you said, Lesoy, 3rd here last year. I think he's gone inside 59 minutes 8 times, consistent. And they're back to the elite women. And again, big group of athletes, the pacemakers at the front of that group, and you can see the...
So we have Kefali in there, Lokedi,
yes.
Kipkorir, Ainbor as well, one of the track stars.
Seeing who was hidden there, Matt, behind. There's the pace they've gone out, and the numbers that are in that group. Is that Matata?
Yeah, Matata just...
Maybe it's starting to struggle, Matt.
Just dropping off, but this is what I'm talking about. This is going to be good for Kameli, who did unfortunately fall down, and he's going to have these men to work towards over the next sort of 5-10 kilometers, because a few of them will drop off. Saying that, we had 3, didn't we, last year in Sarway, Lesoy and Kiplima going into that final home straight. It came down to a sprint finish, really, and I wonder if this pack will be able to stay together. So rain looks heavy. Interesting enough, here at the finish line, it wasn't raining, but down on the riverside there, close to the harbour, it is hammering down. As this is one of the quieter sections of the course, and then they all make their way to the former finish area in Frederiksberg and up the slight gradient, and then they really will have a slight downhill on the open roads to contest in the final few kilometres.
Wendy Kefal is the Ethiopian athlete that was tucked in that elite women's group, 30-19 10K debut, very good cross-country runner. Again, this race always throws up a few debutants, doesn't it, Matt? You know, it's a race to get on the tails of some established half marathon runners, but also what a place to come and make your debut. And that's her in that pink singlet, just on the right-hand side, just tucked behind the pacemakers that are just directing, as Jacob Allen does, the right line to make sure they keep it as smooth as possible. And going down that list of 5 kilometers, there was Fiona O'Keefe was the first of the non-African athletes out there, the USA athlete. She went through in 15 minutes and 24 seconds. So that's 3:05 kilometer splits as well. So very fast start by the American. So and the likes of Chloe Herbert, also the European champion, has gone out inside 16 minutes. So we've got people chasing national times, and at the moment are inside their potential national times. Little so they're having a wave there, Julian. He looks pretty relaxed, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's keeping up with the pace, but he also has to be quite relaxed at this point of the race. It's still like mostly transportation, so it's when he's after like 10, 13 Ks, that's where the race really starts, and he has to focus and push a bit more. So.
And interesting, Matt, Rory Leonard was the European Under-23 title holder and passing that title over to Joel. So this is great to see a young Danish athlete in, what is his debut over the half marathon distance. But yeah, and he seems like he's enjoying it.
Well, yeah, and I'm just wondering what pace these guys are operating at, because I know Rory Leonard was due to pace that 59-minute group. I think he's going to pace a little slower, and he's going to help Lesso through this. He is going to be important to have a good run here in Denmark, in his hometown. He trains just outside of it as well. And just look at that waterline. They're going to have to be so careful on this turn as they really slow up. You can see it, and then just accelerate out as they go past what is the famous Tivoli Gardens there. But Mohsin, he's a keen football fan, James, follows the Premier League regularly, like so much of Kenya. They love the Premier League over in Kenya. Man United mostly, but more and more
I'm sure supporting Arsenal, given the last couple of years. And the great Eliud Kipchoge obviously supports Tottenham Hotspur. And we won't talk about the Tottenham-West Ham game yesterday, Matt, will we? So interesting, the start area here, down near the Copenhagen FC stadium. And they're in the same pool, or they play Tottenham in the Champions League this year as well. So as I think that's 10K. Yes, it is 10K, 27 minutes and 27 seconds. So it has slowed very slightly. And I think you're right, Matt. They are being very cautious around some of the turns as well, knowing obviously that that there's a potential for slipping. That they're just taking the gas off very slightly. But Kipruto's doing a good job at the front there. You can see the splits coming up there. It's official at 27-28, almost identical to 12 months ago.
Exactly that. But 27-27, something in and around that mark 12 months ago. And Le Soy was in that group on that occasion, and he's in this one here today. A few others. Kipkorir has gone past Matatas, and Matatas fading.
He's
quite
doing well, though,
badly,
having fallen over. He's only 6 seconds adrift, so if he settled the nerves and his arm isn't too bad, then hopefully he can get back onto that lead group.
I think a lot of it when you fall over, it's just sheer shock. And I think he would have debated, I'm sure, as he got up there, do I really want to go on and finish this? But now I think he's probably through the worst of it, and he's settling in, and he is working back to these men. Well, Deva and Rowe are a few other men to look out for. Where are they? 28-16 through 10 kilometers, so just under 60-minute tempo for them. Deva comes into this with a 60-11 lifetime best. And now we'll keep an eye on Lesso and Rory Leonard pacing this group, and a few other Danes in this group. You've got Noah Schute as well as they take that turn. So 10 kilometers for them, just approaching. I think they've calmed things down a little bit, and Lesso will be looking for a modest debut somewhere in and around that 61, 62 minutes perhaps. Seems to be indicating towards that. Sessman and Hendricks and Curtin and Tesfu. Interestingly, James, I haven't seen Abdi Nagay up on the results. He comes into this as defending New York City Marathon champion. He's on the lineup for New York in a few months' time, and I can't see him coming through on our list at all at the moment, which is a shame. So perhaps he's pulled out pretty early on. He had a good camp in Kenya. He'd been training out there for the last 6 weeks or so. Tim Robury's in town, obviously his coach. Things are going well for that group. And Sifan Hassan, we saw, obviously heard do amazing things in in Sydney as well. So here's a 10-kilometer split for Leleso, 29:40. So that sees him around about 62.5 minutes, something in that region. And Chilimo not far behind as well. And the Japanese athlete, Kikuchi, Shunya Kikuchi, by the way, a Japanese athlete, is a 2:06 marathon runner, and only his second time outside of Japan. Ran the Copenhagen half last year, and he's back again this year.
So
as these women
Gardens,
now,
Matt, yeah, in the background, one of the oldest amusement parks in the world. So, Julianne, how much fun have you had over the years in that park? Is it as fun as it looks?
A lot. Yeah, it is. It's a great park. Really beautiful as well.
So 12 months ago, I did a run round there as part of the event where they were raising money for charity, and you had to run laps in the park. And every lap everyone completed, money went to charity. So I think that same event now is going to be part of the marathon in May. And it really is a great couple of events with the half marathon in September, the marathon in May. But I think everything's going to be building, you know, with that talk of over 60,000 runners over the half marathon in that World Athletics Road Running Championships. But Matt, there are still entries, aren't there, available, I think, for the mile and the 5K for that race in 12 months' time.
Yeah, there are indeed. Keep your eyes open for when those entries are released, because it's going to be a hot ticket. So these women threw in 30:20 at 10 kilometers. They are bang on 64 flat tempo. It's exactly what they wanted. I tell you what, Jacob Allen up at the front here doing a super job. So a little kick early, but they've settled things down. And Chepkoskai still with that gel in hand. You can see Ainbor in here. Lokedi is just looking supreme. Grew up in Kenya, went over to the US, studied at Kansas, won a few NCAA titles there, and then moved herself to Flagstaff, stepped up to the road. Stephen Haas and the team at the Dark Sky Distance Project doing a phenomenal job with Sharon Lokedi. There's not many with a marathon career like hers, and she's only really just getting going, only making her marathon debut just a couple years ago. You got a fourth at the Olympics, couple major titles, and now here in Copenhagen over the half marathon. What can she do? Can she get into that all-time list and be one of the leading Kenyans? So there's your tour. So Patrick Deva, Jack Rowe, they have company in your tour there. And yeah, the pacer is not pacing.
But you said, interestingly, that he might be given a free license to maybe finish the race, Jack Rowe. So he had a great post on Instagram, wasn't it, about almost like a last hit out. And he was obviously going to take Patrick for the first few, or at least to halfway. But then, yeah, Coach Alistair Craig, I think he said, you can hold on if you want to hold on. But that's hard to do, Matt, isn't it?
It is, especially when you go in with the mentality of your pacing. I think you referred to it as a bloodbath pace job and a hang-on last 5K. I think he was certainly hoping to get to 15K on tempo. And this is Devon now, who finds himself isolated a little bit on his own. And this has kind of been the story as of half marathons over the last year. You know, he ran Houston and New York, and both of those, he went off extremely fast. That's just how the races went. And also, it was much like in conditions like this, to be honest, and also found himself isolated. So he is fantastic on his own. And as a marathon runner, as someone who is looking to step up to the marathon in New York in a few months' time, you've got to be able to run hard on your own, because there are times in a marathon where it is very, very lonely, no matter how fast you are.
Yeah, he's a very well-conditioned athlete, Patrick, and you know, those consistent half-marathon performances and those 60 minutes in New York, that's not an easy course either. But I'm excited to see what he can do over the marathon distance, Matt.
James, let's see how this plays out. This is Casey Neville-Bard wearing the pace bib there in the white cap. Obviously, training partner, phenomenal 1,500-meter runner, low 330 man, and is alongside Sharon Lokedi here. And isn't it a little bit unfair to have your teammate pacing? Because as this race evolves, could he drag her along late in the race, make a few moves, make those hard moves that Lokedi would have to make on her own if he wasn't in the race? Well,
we've seen husbands being pacemakers previously as well. I think as long as it's agreed by the organisers, I think that, yeah, there's another, they wouldn't even have to be actually as an agreed pacemaker. Actually, they could be part of the race themselves, which has happened also.
Absolutely.
But I think you're right. Depends whether, you know,
there's a dynamic there
away,
which is worth talking about.
Yeah, and I think it's probably maybe more so in women's only races where everyone's reliant on that one pacemaker. Whereas this, there's so many good club runners and national standard runners around them, all running this 64-minute pace. But Sharon Lokedi looks very good at the moment. As you said earlier, she's such a consistent performer and such a great racer.
Look at this. He is back, and is he up front? Wow. Is this the lead of the men's race? Nicholas.
If I had a hat on, Matt, my hat would be off. We love a comeback story. And the fact he's bounced off the concrete here in Copenhagen. Wow, projected time, sub 58 minutes. But I tell you what, the splits that Kipkorir would have done to get back there, I hope he's thinking right now, I'm going to write the headlines and I'm going to make my own story. He was someone that when I went through my notes, I thought, you know what, he might not be the big name, you know, that people are going to talk about, but he's such a good performer. And obviously when he hit the deck, you're thinking the quality of racers and runners in front, that there's no way back. And he looked really hurt, didn't he, Matt, for about a kilometre. But to fight his way back, and not just to fight his way back, he goes straight to the front. That is an interesting mentality. Not just straight to the front, he's going off the front, Matt.
Wow, clearly signs of the pacemaker dropping out as well. We are never short of drama here in Copenhagen, are we? I mean, last year's sprint finish between two of the greats, Kiplimo and Sarway, and now Kipkorir putting on an absolute display, falls down, works his way back up to the front, and now pushing on. Losoy and Langat are just going to enjoy tucking in behind him, Mosin as well. All of these guys, Kenyon, I mentioned before, only 4 men, or 3 men, shall I say, have broken 58 minutes for a half marathon from Kenya, and we could have 4 do it here. They're on schedule for that as they hit the 13-kilometer mark. What is arguably the toughest section of the course, Julian?
Yeah, so this is, it is the only slightly uphill part of the course. You see there.
You see Kipkorir's comeback.
Yeah.
The comeback kid. Have you ever fallen over in a race, Julian? Have you hit the deck and bounced back up? Did it go well?
In the World Championship in Budapest in 2023, over the steeple, I fell and I actually broke my jaw. But I managed to finish the race, and yeah, I think the adrenaline after falling, it keeps you going, and I didn't even think about stopping, so yeah.
And it hasn't put you off the steeplechase. A new personal best inside 9 minutes and 30 seconds this year, just outside that World Athletics qualifying for Tokyo. Was it 5 spots? So you must have half an eye on next year's European Championships, which is in Birmingham in the UK.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm looking really much forward for that.
We'd love to see you on that team in the UK, and obviously, yes, in 12 months' time, over the 5K. Have you looked much at the course for the 5K for the World Athletics Road Running Championships for next year? Are you already studying it? Are you already doing workouts on it yet?
I am doing a lot of workouts since I'm training here in Copenhagen, so I haven't been studying it down to details yet, but maybe I should start doing
12 months. You've got plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
And the world's very best runners over multiple distances. As a miler myself, Matt, I can't wait to see that road mile. I think that is going to be super exciting. And then could we have Jakob Ingebrigtsen back? He did speak 12 months ago about coming back for those World Athletics Road Running Championships, and I saw him out in St. Moritz where he's preparing for the World Champs. Didn't make it through the heats of the 1500. He's still got the 5000, but I said to him, are you looking to come back to Copenhagen? He gave a big smile, so I take that as a yes.
We'll welcome him next year in 2026. So here's Aimbar. I mentioned before, great track season over the 5,000. 3rd in the Diamond League, that final one just a few weeks ago. And unfortunately, you know, she watched the Olympics last year on crutches, and so she's had a rough year of injuries, but now coming back and at her very best, to be honest with you. That's 69.01 lifetime best from 2022. Make no notice, pay no attention.
I was going to say, that's a side note, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it absolutely is. She's worth a lot more than that. And also the other Ethiopian in here is Kefele, who comes into this in great form, phenomenal cross-country runner, but debuting over the half marathon. And James, from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, and brings those coffee beans wherever she goes.
Oh, I love that. Kipkorir, maybe he should have just chilled out a little bit in that group, because he did go straight to the front. And
he woke them up, though. I think he needed to do that, because they looked like what was once 3, then came into 4 or 5. Kiprotich was able to get back on, and whenever they surge, whenever they up the tempo, Kiprotich is the first to drop off. So I think, actually, Kipkorir realized these guys were slowing. He got them back on that 58-minute tempo. And as I mentioned, they're all from Kenya. They know each other well. And, oh, no, he is just having a bad day at the office with his footing, isn't he? That's a real shame there. Well, that's why he's struggling. And once again, he bounces back. I mean, Terry DeMatteo is in this race, has a book out, or coming out, called Don't Call It a Comeback. And this man is the king of comebacks if he goes on to win this. It's phenomenal. Sitting in 4th place. And I think he is going to need a real check over once he finishes this race, because he could have done damage to his arm. That looked like it might have messed his hamstring, his glute area up a little bit. Just static there. But anyway, Langat off the front. Lesoy, Mosin, and Kipkorir back and forth, and I wonder if he's going to start squeezing.
I'm going to start thinking how many more turns we've got, Julian, on the course, because obviously it seems those right or left-hand turns seem to be an issue. I don't think there's too many more to go.
Yeah, after this 15K mark, we almost only have these long, straight sections of the course. So now they can really start to push, and now the strategy comes a bit more in, and they are starting to feel the pain. But there are not many more turns yet.
Absolutely.
So maybe.
They can hit the open road, they can hit those straight roads and attack. And interestingly, Chepkoskai looks to have dropped off from this group now. We can't see her anymore. We have Kefele, we have Ainbor, and we have Sharon Lekedi in this group. And Josh Grace as well, another man worth mentioning, in the white strip there alongside these elite women. I can't see Chepkoskai. Doesn't seem to with them. They are still operating, we know, inside 64-minute tempo. They may have even lifted things a little bit. And that's what I mean. If Lekedi feels good, she may just give her pacer just a bit of a nudge and say, hey, let's just start turning the screw here. I can run something special. We know the faster section of the course is coming up as they'll head back towards the famous lakes. That's where the atmosphere will really drive up as well. We've got the Norborough Run Club. They're bang on 302s. Kimetcho, as we see that race record, is 65.08, 305 per K. And again, last year, they were just outside that last year, weren't they? Both on the men's and the women's side, they just missed it. So wouldn't it be great to come and correct those times this year? These elite women looking fantastic, and you can hear that rain coming down. 15 kilometers then for these elite men, and there is four of them. Kiprotich is gone. Lesoy, Langat, Mosin, and Kipkorir. And now this time, I think Kipkorir, after that second, didn't quite go down, did he? After that second bad turn and slip, he's decided he just needs to sit back and hang on and hope he can close well over this final 5 kilometers. This is where the race gets going, James. It is the 30K equivalent in a marathon. This final 5 kilometers, what can these men do? And you can see it is a Kenyan sweep, Kenyan domination here.
But the pace has dropped, Matt, outside 14 minutes for that last 5 kilometer split. Jeffrey Kimura's course record set in 2019. There was the world record at the time, 58 minutes and 1 second. He went through in 41 minutes and 5 seconds, but there was a big 5K split that day, 13:31 from 10K to 15K, and then he slowed a little bit to 13:55 for 55 minutes exactly at 20 kilometers. But I think these athletes have settled now. I don't think we're necessarily going to be chasing the course record today. I think we've got, you know, a real race on our hands between this, well, it was leading 5 on the screen in front, but one athlete has just gone out the back. That might be Kipkorir, yes. Or Kiprotich, sorry. Kiprotich is 4 seconds adrift of this group, but they seem to be looking at each other now, Matt, and whether he can get back onto it. He was someone that we expected to be there because he's got such a big kick, Gilbert Kipkorir, but he's the athlete that's struggling now.
Yeah, he is. Deva coming through in 7th there. He's going to be the first non-Kenyan in this race through 15 kilometers. Has a bit of a cushion, 15 seconds on Figel Curtin there, and Jack Rowe as well. And I think the Kenyans are starting to get a little cagey up at the front. They don't like the rain. If you're in Kenya and it's raining, there's no one out on the streets running. They don't run in the rain unless they really have to, unless they get caught in a storm. One of the reasons for that, though, is all the trails they run on, they're very, very soft clay. So if you do try and run in the rain, it gets very, very muddy and sticky, and it becomes increasingly hard work. It's another reason why they are so good over the cross-country. So Kipkorir finds himself back at the front of this race and pushing as well. Do you know what? I'm surprised to see Asai Lesoy be so hesitant in this race. You're thinking about coming in 3rd place last year, coming in as probably arguably the favorite for this one, 58.10, fastest man on paper. To see him just happy to sit back for large parts of this race is a surprise to me. And Kiprotich now has a job to do for himself. He just needs to stay there and try and hold that rhythm, keep those men in their sights, just looking on the turn. All right, take a breath. That one was safe. We're through, and we're through the 16-kilometer mark. 10 miles in the elite men's race.
Patrick David's gone through in, I think, just inside of there. They're about 60-minute pace, but Fergal Curtin, the Irish athlete, he's about 30 seconds inside the Irish national record pace. And he's having an absolutely brilliant run out there at the moment. He's a fantastically hard-working athlete based out of Portugal now. And, well, he's chasing down at the moment some fast athletes in front, the Irishman, and then looking down. So there's a little bit of some gaps behind. Jack Roche still in there, 43 minutes and 1 second, going through in 10th place. So, well, that's a bloodbath of a pacemaking job, and he's staying in there now. I think he's probably going to stay in there till the finish, Matt. But there's the projected time now, 58.31. So, as I said, we've dropped off course record pace. But Kipkorir, from that fall in the red and almost going down again a few kilometres later, having got back to the lead group. Now it's down to 3. Langat in that group as well. So this is business time now, Matt, isn't it?
Kipkorir is doing a phenomenal job. I think Lesoy is starting to show. Look at the line here, though. Kipkorir does love hugging the... well, he went wide there. Lesoy choosing to take that tight line, which is dangerous. I think Kipkorir is learning his lesson. Swing wide, take the racing line, round those turns and cut in on the exit as opposed to the entry point as well. So these elite women are going to be approaching that 15-kilometre mark any minute now as well. So we still got Lekedi, Kefale and Ainbor, and they all look very, very relaxed, actually. Kefale on her debut. Ainbor, you may as well call it a debut. Her first half marathon a few years ago, one and done then. And 69 minutes, she's worth a lot more than that, operating in that 14:30 region, over 5,000 coming off of that track season. But Lekedi looks so relaxed. Well, here's Lesoy. First time, he's going to find himself a little isolated, perhaps just starting to get detached from these men. As I say that the questions are being asked, Langat looks relaxed as well, and Kimeli still just up at the front, just 26 years of age, still Kimeli. Lesoy the same, both of them in their mid-20s and in their prime over the half marathon distance. And interestingly, you know, in Kenya, it is a distance they take pride in. You know, I think a lot of nations will maybe prioritize the 5,000, the 10,000, and then go straight to the marathon. They almost bypass the half marathon. In Kenya, they do take a lot of pride, and there are a lot of men who are okay with being specialist half marathon runners, and these three are some of the very best to do it.
And Lesoy's record there on the screen, and he's so used to getting on the podium, and at the moment it's a three-way battle between these athletes on the screen in front. Nicholas Kipkorir, who took the fall, but he's back up on his feet. A world medalist on the road, 4th place in the Olympic Games, 5,000 metres. Langat, Vincent Langat next to him, 58 minutes and 41 seconds. In from Valencia previously, consistent performer. And then Lesoy, 3rd last year. And just biding his time at the moment at the back of that leading group of 3.
Well, here's elite women. They're through 15 kilometres now, James. They're still all together. I wonder when this race is going to break up. We've got 3 in the men's race now, 3 in the women's race as well. And we know that Chepkosgei has dropped off. We'll look out for her. She's still in it, though. She's there in 4th. She's not... Ooh, just about 30 seconds or so behind. She's got company with Chepkorir and Chepingeno as well, so she will have a few teammates to work with her. But these women have just slowed a little bit, James. They're on around about 64.30 tempo now. 45.56. That would see them just outside 64.30, but they're still on race record, and it allows them. That 5K is probably always going to be the slowest. We know, Julian, that is arguably... There's no slow road in Copenhagen, but if there is going to be a slow split, it is that 10 to 15K split. And now it's open roads, there's very few turns, and a slight downhill as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we can also mention now that the Danish men they just passed the 15 kilometers mark a few minutes ago, and Joel is still in front. He is running really even splits and doing a great job out there. Right behind him, we have Jens Emil Slot, who's also a former triathlete, and he's following up really well. For the women, we have still Alberte Kjær in front and Nana right behind, and we might also mention Caroline Millenar, who is the Danish national champion. So we have to watch out for her as well.
Well, less than 10 minutes of running in this elite men's race. It's still Nicholas Kipkorir who is doing a job up at the front. He's slipped and fallen. He slipped again since then, and he's dropped off multiple times as well because of those falls, because of those slips, and he's worked his way back up to the front on every single occasion. And he's asking the questions of his teammates Langat and Lesoy, who sit comfortably behind him. And Lesoy, you're looking at the man who was third last year behind Salway, behind Kiplimo, ran 58.10, just missing that race record, 58.01 of Kamwara back in 2019. And the Copenhagen half marathon, 10 years old today. It started the year after the World Championships they hosted in 2014. And off the back of that, they started. And we go over the lakes then, usually what is a fantastic atmosphere. We might even see a few flares out there as well. This is the Norberg region. They had a run club, 200, 300 people strong yesterday around these lakes. They swarmed it, they owned it, and this is their region. And look at this, always the best part of the course.
It's like a part of the cycling tradition, isn't it, with the noise, the cowbells. Jinan, what's it like to go over that bridge with that noise?
Yeah, usually you can really look forward to this part of the course. All the spectators and the noise, and they are, yeah, they are making it great. It looks a little bit less this year because of the rain, but also here on the road you can almost hear the speakers at the finish line across Fælledparken, so you can, yeah, almost see. Watch out for the finish line.
Well, who do you fancy then? Both these men have a 26.51, a 26.55 lifetime best over 10,000. They're evenly matched. Kipkorir, the fast over 2 over 5,000. He's got that 12.46 lifetime best, and he's just saying, Elaine, give me some room here, mate. I've had a tough go out here. I've struggled on these turns, you know that. Give me a little bit of room. And Langat just telling him to ease back a little bit as well. And Kenyans, they will use, in Ethiopia as well, they will use a lot of hand signals when they're out on runs. They're used to running in large groups over muddy terrain, rocky terrain as well, and very hilly. And this is interesting. Ainborn now hits the front, the track star. Phenomenal summer, bases herself in Spain, coached by her husband as well. I think much like that of Jocelyn Chepkoskai. Speaking about husband's pacing, but also husband's coaching a lot of these elite women. So Ainborn looks to be up at the front. I tell you what, Jacob Allen's done a phenomenal job getting these women through 16 kilometers and beyond. And he's still in the race.
He's still there, is it? Ainborn looks really good, as you said. Great season, and just showing, you know, how consistent. That 69.01, that is going to be revised by a lot of minutes. So 14.33, Matt, 5K in Monaco on the road, and obviously sub 30 minutes. Then that does translate definitely to around about 65 minutes, but she's way inside that at the moment. And I think we're somewhere in the region of around about 30 to 45 seconds inside the race record.
Well, Lesoy's gone. You can see just 20 or so meters back now. It's Kipkorir and it's Langat. They're going to take a left-hand turn, and they're virtually going to be in the home straight, aren't they, Julianne? They're going to be into that final kilometre or so. We're looking at 58.31, so we've slipped a little bit in conditions. They were brutal out there between 10 and 15 kilometres. The rain really did start to come down. These men have done well to just stay at this rhythm, and Kipkorir just taking that inside line in, operating at 2:46. And it's amazing, you know, over the half marathon and the marathon, you lose just a second or two over your kilometre split, and that can add up, can't it? That could be 20 seconds, 30 seconds over the course of the race. Langat now, for me, James, is just looking a little bit more sprightly, isn't he? He looks the fresher of the two, unsurprisingly, because Kipkorir has done a lot of the hard running.
He has, you know, and it's an interesting part now, looking at the watch. They know they're just over a mile away from that finishing straight. And the noise, and they can just see the gap starting to open. But I tell you what, let's not write off the athlete that's been written off multiple times in this race, Nicholas Kipkorir in the red. But it is strong running now. Vincent Legat, who is pushing the pace, and at the moment operating right around his own lifetime best time of 58.41. So as we said, the event race record will survive another year. But it's all about racing now, and Langat is turning on the afterburners, Matt, and it looks like he's got around about 10 meters or so.
He's a competitive man, is Langat. I've heard even at card games, whatever it is, board games, card games, he's very, very competitive. Always wants to win, and he might just be running himself into the history books and picking up a win here in Copenhagen. It'd be the biggest win of his career, that's for sure. He was third at the Valencia 10K, fifth at the Valencia half marathon last year as well. That's when he ran that 58.41 you mentioned, James. Kipkorir is hanging in there as well. There's Langat just looking to push on by. He keeps very, very detailed training logs, and that is a good habit of some of the Kenyans and Ethiopians. 10 years of training logs that they can look back on and reflect. And I bet that is one of the reasons why he's able to push on up at the front here. He's keying into all that training he's done over the last few years. So Langat and Kipkorir, you're 1-2. Lesoy, we believe, still in third.
Yeah, you're right. That training stacked on year, and knowing what to do at the right time. You know, when to train hard as they go through 20 kilometers, 1.1 kilometers to go here in the 2025 Copenhagen half marathon. And the gap now, Langat back to Kipkorir. It looks significant.
They're both on for huge lifetime best. Kipkorir 59.06, Langat slightly quicker than him by 20 seconds or so. But they're both, I think, they keep this rhythm going. Look at that, 55.26. They're going to break 58.30 here. They're going to be, you'd expect them to run a 2:55 or so. Last kilometer is a slight downhill. It's 6 meters or so from the top of the Philip Harkin Eusta Alley here down to the finish line. So they're going to look at the crowd as well, Julie, and this has got to be the best part. It's exactly what you want going into that final half a mile.
Yeah, exactly. Now the spectators can carry you all the way to the finish line.
And you can see some still setting off to their right as well.
Some are going through 2 kilometers on the right-hand side. The spectators, doesn't matter whether it's raining, they are out in full numbers as Kipkorir has to tiptoe his way around that corner mat. He almost went again.
It's cost him. He'll watch the race back. And, you know, there's no doubt that fall has cost him. He put in so much work to get back onto the group, and then he persistently turned the screw and lifted things up at the front as well to make sure that he came away from this with a new lifetime best. And it has paid off for him. Langat just checking his shoulder. Is he starting to struggle? Kipkorir breathed a sigh of relief and said, thank God there's no more turns now. It's straight for the last 400 or 500 meters, and he is closing.
Kipkorir is closing. He knows he's got no more turns. He can see the finishing gantry around about, well, 400 meters maybe. This is going to be a battle now. We've got Vincent Langat. Langat looking over his shoulder, 57 minutes and 20 seconds on the race clock. The athlete that fell during the race now, up onto his toes. Nicholas Kipkorir in the red, Langat in the blue on the left. It is a head-to-head, it's a battle. Kipkorir now, can he go from falling on the ground during the race to take the 2025 Copenhagen half marathon? The last 200 meters we'll find out. As they go past the football stadium on their right-hand side, it looks like the battle again. Vincent Langat finding one more gear.
I don't think Kipkorir's done, James. I think he's going to come back.
One more gear.
We're never short of drama here in Copenhagen. Once again, it comes down to a sprint finish.
Wow.
We couldn't ask for more. What a race. Kipkorir has been on the deck on a couple of occasions, and he's going to hold on. The Kenyan is going to kick past his compatriot here today. He goes to the arms. We've been used to seeing him on the track over 5,000. Welcome to the half marathon, Kipkorir, and welcome to Copenhagen in some style. Lifetime best for the pair of them as well.
What a story. He fell on the ground, almost fell for a second and third time. And at one point, with about 800 meters to go, the gap was significant. Vincent Langat looked fantastic, but then the home straight, that kick, he's got speed from being a world medalist over 5,000 meters, Olympic fourth placer in that same distance.